Welcome to chair yoga. Let's join each other sitting down comfortably. As you sit down, let's sit to the front edge of whatever it is that you're on and bring your feet out in front of your knees. And let's begin with a little centering. Take a few moments to direct the focus. Bring it from outside and call it inward. As you start to unplug and withdraw from where you've been, or maybe even where you need to go later on, let's bring our hands onto our heart just to direct the flow of energy to come inside. As you step inside of yourself, a little body scan from top to bottom with breath. So start to bring that aliveness to your breathing, more intentional meditative breath. If you're building heat, add a little constriction of the throat, bringing in ujjayi, the oceanic whispering sounding breath, or just some long, intentional, mindful breaths. And dropping in a little bit deeper, let's come into the heart center for a moment. With your inward gaze, just imagine there's a light there, like a candle flickering there in the center of your heart. And as you bring in that inner gaze, that drishti, that focal point directed into the heart center, take a moment to honor your own light, honor where you are here in this moment in time. And if you'd like to lay down an intention here at your inner altar, just taking a few moments to do so. Maybe there's a word, a feeling, an image, something that you'd like to connect with or release in this practice today. Nothing comes, no forcing it. Return to breath and maybe just that openness, that allowing. It may come later on. Staying with a long breath, release your hands, bring them down, and then a little bit of movement in the hands and the wrists. Circle around the fingers. Some mobility here in our joints as we warm them up. And then as you breathe in, palms reaching out to the side, soft elbows, lift as you raise the arms, looking up. And then on the exhale, smoothly and slowly follow the breath length as you lower the arms. And let's stay with this patterning. Breathing in, lift up, look up. And on the exhale, bring them down. Looking down. Breathing in, the intention of lifting the energy. And when you lower, grounding the energy. One more time, but let's meet up at the top. When your hands come together, press and exhale, bring it down the midline. And then like a fountain, breathe in, open it up, and exhale, bring it back down. With this new pattern, breathing in, lifting it up, palms together, and then exhale down the midline, press firmly. Feel the action coming through the chest, and then bring in that fountain feel. Breathing in, lift up, and exhale, lower. One more time through this flowing sequence together. Breathing in, lift up. Choose your own pacing, one that feels right for you, that connects you to your breath. And I'm just kind of in the background as your guide. And when the hands lower, resting your palms either facing up if you need more of an uplift today, or down if you need a little more rooting. And let's come into our legs. Hello, Mr. Bojo Jangles. Jasper's here with us. Breathe in, slide your right foot forward, flex your foot, and then exhale, bend the knee, and then contract the back of the leg as the foot comes behind the chair. Breathe in, excuse me, reach out, and breathe out, contract the back of the leg. Let's do that a few times. Foot sliding and gliding, noticing how that feels, the different sensations you experience. And then ground down and switch right on over to the other side. Just notice what that feels like as you're sliding your left foot forward and back. Linking and connecting it to our breath cycling. One more time. And then plant both feet down. Rolling through Chakra. Let's move this through the spine now. Breathe in, palms down, slide from your knees to your hips, open the front line and give it a little squeeze between the shoulder blades. And then exhale, pull the belly in, round the spine. Back and forth. Inhales, open the front line, and exhales, expand into the back line. Just gentle movement back and forth. One more time through the flow. Sitting up tall, bring your left foot out to the side at a comfortable distance out from the hip. And then let's start some side movement here. Breathe in, raise your right arm up, and then exhale, a little moon reach coming over towards the left. Breathing in, come on back up when you're ready. And exhale, flow over to the left side. To your own breath pacing, listen inside to your breath. And then let's stay over to the side and let's give about 6 breaths here. Making any fine-tune adjustments for your comfort and stability. Feel your breath meeting tension, and on the exhale, a melting feeling, a releasing feeling of where you feel that contraction. Press through your left foot to lift up, and then exhale, bend the elbow and smoothly lower your right arm. Switching this out, let's go to the other side. Make sure that you feel stable and steady through your hips. And when you're ready, breathe in, lift your left arm. And then that moon reach over to the right. Back and forth, warming through the channels along the left side. Easy breezy movement, listening inside to your own inner flow. And then let's stay over into our side bend. And give it a few breaths. On the inhale, press through the right foot to come on up. And exhale, bend the elbow, release. Bringing your feet back and around to neutral. And then slide your feet forward in front of your knees and slide towards your feet. On the exhale, come into a forward fold. And then on the inhale, like you're pulling up your socks, slide your hands up, open the chest, bend the elbows, lift through the throat. And then on the exhale, pull the belly in, come into your forward fold. Making any adjustments for stability and comfort. Take your time as you go forward and back. And if this doesn't work for you, if this is too intense, come back to our Chakra Vakasana, our seated cat-cow flow. One more time. Engage your belly on the forward folds. And then the next time you come up, reach up with your arms, lift your eyes, lift your gaze, and exhale, release, bringing your hands down. Slide the feet back in, and then let's turn to the right. You may want to put something underneath the left knee as we come into a lunge. It's optional. Secure yourself on the chair and then bend the left knee. Have the left knee down. You may need to assist that leg, find a comfortable zone. Some of you may even want to bring the left leg back with more extension. So find the sweet spot in your body. And if you're wanting a little more strength building today, stand up a little bit off of the chair if your left leg is back behind you. So find the place that we can be here in a warrior one lunge. And then as you breathe in, float and lift the left arm again. And then we'll add a little moon gaze here. As you exhale, reach over to the right. Breathe in, come on back up. And then exhale, reach over to the right. Let's do that 4 more times. Work with your breath. And then when you come all the way back upright, exhale, bend the elbow and slowly, smoothly release the arm. Lean forward, engage your abs, and then slide like we did earlier. Slide that left foot forward. You may need to assist it with your hands. And then let's swivel on over. Let's go over to the other side. Right knee and thigh hanging off the edge of the chair. A little mild tuck down with the tail. And then notice on this side, maybe the leg needs to be bent or extended. Maybe you want to stand up or maybe you want to sit down. And then when you're ready, breathe in, smoothly lift the right arm up. Exhale, side bend over to the left. In and out of the lunar flow, the crescent moon shape coming through the right side. All to your own breath pacing. And then on the exhale, bend the elbow, slowly and smoothly lower the arm, lean forward, engage your abs, and then slide that right leg through. Returning to facing forward, sitting at the top of the chair, the front edge of the seat, and then let's bring it together. If you would like to have a little more support for your sacrum, grab something such as a block or a prop, put it between the knees as we come into Chakra Vakasana again. So breathing in, lean forward, open the chest. And then on the exhale, squeeze between the legs, hug at the glutes as you round the back. Go back and forth a few more times, getting into the flow. After the exhale, sitting up tall. And if you have a prop there, just set that to the side and assist your legs out. And then secure your hips back. Press down through your feet. And then put the hands somewhere on the legs, lean forward a little bit, and gently with your hands, either press down or pull open a little bit. If you've had hip replacement, I want you to press down with your feet and press down with your hands. Don't pull out. And then on the exhale, lean the left shoulder forward. Give it a little twist, look to the right. Feel the breath expressing itself through you. And then breathe in, come on back to center with the shoulders, unwind the twist, and then exhale, tilt right shoulder forward, looking towards the left. Feel that moment to moment centering as we connect with our breathing. You may want to welcome in that intention. And then on the next inhale, come on back up. And lean back on the exhale. Walk your feet back in. Squeeze the knees towards each other and turn, pigeon toe your feet towards each other. So the heels are out, the toes are in. Give it a little squeeze at the inner legs. Notice here as you're sitting in mountain, the sensations that you experience. If your knees don't quite touch, just bring them towards each other like you're holding something between the knees. And then open and close the knees a few times and just notice how that feels in your hips. The energy flow from the root all the way down to the feet. And then lean forward. Imagine you're just about to stand up. We're coming into chair pose in the chair. Root through the heels, breathe in, lift the arms up. Coming into chair, press through your feet like you're just about to stand up. Feel the energy building as you're in this shape. Give it about 2 or 3 more breaths. We could always adjust the positioning of the arms. If you want to get curious and feel the difference of the flow, experiment a little bit. And then come back, close the arms, and do a little drop release here. A little shoulder shrug, work out the tension in the shoulders and the arms. Little wiggle. And then some stillness, palms up or down, connecting inward with that spark, that inner light, the intention or the breath. And let's join each other standing up. Come on up and move your chair towards the top of your mat. Any other props that you have, just set them off to the side. And let's come right behind the chair in mountain pose. New shape, new awareness. Meet yourself right where you are. And then when you're ready, breathe in, lift the heels up. Exhale, lower the heels, and then bend the knees a little bit towards the chair until you feel that back line open from behind the knees to the calves. Breathe in, lift up, and then exhale, lower. Slight bend in the knees, and a few more times. Focus on the downward flow of energy below the navel. It's called the apana vayu. Below the navel, all the way to the soles of the feet. And it helps us with stability and grounding, centering, and connection. One more time. Left leg forward, right leg steps back. Turn your right foot at an angle that feels good to your ankle and your joints. And then bend the left knee slightly. Come down onto the back of your chair with your forearms. Sit your hips back and kind of swivel a little bit. Center this left hip back more. Sometimes it likes to come out to the side. Bring it back. You're going to take a few breaths into the back side of the right leg. Root down through that right heel. It may not be on the floor, but it's in that direction. The front knee is bent to an angle that feels right for your knee. And then put your hands on the back of the chair. Keep your legs steady. Lift your upper body and then lift the right arm up again. Right arm comes up. Thumb presses back. Open the chest coming into warrior one. Get curious about the feeling and the breath. Lift the chin a little bit. Notice what happens to the breath. And on the exhale, release. Straighten the front leg. Take a few steps. And then feet under the hips. And just kind of move your body a little bit. Do a little wiggling. Let the bones adjust. And then right leg steps forward, left leg back. Find the angles that work best for you. And then slightly and slowly bend that right knee. Just kind of find and feel those angles that ground us. And then when this front knee bends, let's come down on the forearms, hinge in the hips. Lengthen your hips back. That right hip swivels back behind you. You might even want to put your right hand on the hip. Just notice if that right hip pushes out to the side. Go straight back. Belly is supporting the low back. And a little more stability. Imagine you have that block between the knees and you're holding something there so that it feels real centering, more stable. You can even look at that right knee and the way it's tracking. Notice if it tracks out to the right side. Can you bring it more in alignment with that front big toe? Press against the chair, bring your upper body upright, and then lift the left arm. Warrior one variation. If you need less in the lower back, lean forward, use your abs so that there's not so much of an arch in the low spine. If you're wanting more of a back bend feel, go more upright. Change the position of your head. Notice what happens to the breath. On the exhale, bring the hand down. Straighten the front leg, and then let's recenter. Bring your feet back on under your hips. Do a little wiggle, a little move, a little pulse work. And then hands on the back of the chair. Come into a right angle, turning your toes in. So pigeon toe your feet. Sit your hips back, hinge in your hips to lengthen out the spine. Your head either centered between the elbows or a little higher than the arms, depending on how that feels in your joints. Turn your feet parallel, bend your knees, and let's come in towards the chair. Grab a prop, bring it between your knees like we did earlier. Could be anything. It could be a pillow, a yoga block, something that's comfortable between your inner thighs. It could be higher up or lower down, just depends on your body shape. Peek down at your feet. Feet are running parallel. And then coming into chair pose, as you exhale, sit your hips behind your heels. So don't push your knees forward. Instead, sit behind your heels. And then find the angle where there's a little bit of challenge, but it's not depleting you. Belly lifts. And then optional to keep the arms relaxed or start to lift the arms. Counterbalance with your hips if you have your arms raised. Always go for stability first. Never pushing through pain. Listening to the signals inside of you. Few more breaths. Stand up, put your hands back on the chair if they're up. And then press your hips forward, lift up through your chest. And then take the hands back, almost like you're in cobra on the floor. Send the elbows down. It's like this pressing elbows towards the floor and a big lift up in your chest. Lift the gaze up a little bit. Coming into plank, as you exhale, press your hands out in front of you. Middle fingers face up. Shoulders slide down. And then exhale, release. Bring the arms down. Take out the prop or just let it go. And then let's turn so the right side of us is facing the chair. And do a little bit of that shimmy. Shake it loose. I like to do this, especially in those moments where I just feel like everything has to be kind of in a sequence or organized. It's like, no, break it up. We need both. We need balance in all areas of our life, including play, structure and play. Woohoo. And then bringing your feet underneath you. Turning your left foot out. You could also take a prop such as a block. I like this variation a lot. It builds a lot of strength. You could put something underneath the foot or just have the foot on the floor. Turn the knee open, and then this right hip is going to press down to lift up. Tree pose, optional, any placement of the arms. Just go for it. Go for an expression that you'd like to explore and be willing to adjust that depending on what happens in your breath. Listen to your breath. Those of you that lock out in your joints, especially the standing leg, bend the right knee a little bit so you weight down through the heel. Then root to rise from that space. Give it 1 or 2 more breaths. Explore, play, even change the focal point. What happens when you adjust your eyes to your balance or to the flow of breath? And then exhale, lower the arms and swivel the knee in. Coming to the other side, you can adjust the block on the floor if you'd like, if you're using it. And then put your right foot up. Left hand on the hip. Let's go ahead and detail this a little more. Pull the hip in and then give a slight bend in the left knee. Press the right foot down. And when you're ready, an upward expression through the arms. Something that's lifting the energy up and rooting and grounding it down. If you want to use the chair for a little more support, it's always there. And you may feel your body kind of teeter-tottering. That's the balance happening and working. That interoception, the focus of inward balance, proprioceptive awareness of what's around us, all this happening at the same time. One or two more breaths. Maybe change your viewpoint. I'm sure there's a metaphor in there somewhere. And then exhale, release. Engage the abs, and then let's stand with our feet underneath us. A little more movement. And then let's face the chair. Turn the seat of the chair so that it's closer to you. And then let's stand with our hands on the chair. Put your hands either on top of the seat or around the sides of the chair. Bend your elbows a little bit and then step back into a variation of downward facing dog. Look at your elbows for a moment. Are your arms locked straight? Bend the elbows and then imagine you're holding something between the elbows. Sit your hips back. Opening the channels with your breath. Breathe in, come forward into a plank. You could step 1 foot forward if you need a little more support, or lift up off of the heels. Abdominals pulling up towards the low spine. Press the chair away. Let's give that a few more breaths. And then exhale, bend the knees, sit your hips back, go right back into your downward dog variation. Forward into plank, and or hold on to that outer edge of your chair and let the hips spill through into an upward dog variation. Or go back to the plank variation. And then on the exhale, sit back into downward dog. Please make sure you feel very steady and secure. One more time into plank and or maybe into an upward facing dog. Shoulders back, chest open if you're in that variation. Legs are strong and supportive. And then exhale, sit back. Step forward until your feet are right underneath your hips. And then take the hands up towards the back of the chair. Come into your chair variation again. Imagine holding something between the knees, and or maybe you want to lift up a little more. Hands can be down, in front, or lifted. Heels are rooting down, hips come behind the heels. And then stand yourself up, reach back, open the chest. Exhale, lower the arms. And then let's meet each other here in mountain. Come back to the breath, or back to the center, that spark of light in the heart. You might even want to put your hand there, that gesture to pull that focus from outward inward. And then let's join each other down on the mat. Come down safely through the knees or the hips, however you like to come down. And move the chair in front of you a little more so you have space for your feet. And have a block and maybe a strap close by. Make your way down onto your back when you're ready. Once we come down onto the back, align the chin with the heart, rest the arms. Let's give it 3 breaths for the energy to settle. Pick up your left foot, put your left hand on your thigh. Breathe in, extend the left leg up, flex your foot. Exhale, point the nose, point the nose, point the toes, bend the knee, contract the back of the leg. We did this when we were sitting in the chair at the start of the class. Breathe in, extend up. Exhale, point the toes, bend the knee until you feel the back of the hamstrings engage. Let's do that a few more times. The leg never has to come completely straight. Keep your hips so that they're settled on the floor, that you're not leaning to the side. One more time. And then step down. Let's transition to the other side. Breathe in, right hand on the thigh, lift the leg, flex the foot, and then exhale, bend the knee, contract the hamstrings. All to your breath pacing. One more time. Both feet come down. Alternating the arms, breathe in, lift your left arm up above your head, look to the right. Exhale, lower the arm and recenter the chin with the heart. Alternating the arms, breathe in, right arm up, look left. Exhale, bring it down and recenter. 2 more times through the sequence. And when your right arm comes down and you recenter your chin, give yourself a breath. Step your feet up onto the chair. So the heels are up on the chair. And then reach for your prop, such as a block or something between the legs, Hold on to it. I'm bringing it the medium width between my knees. Choose what's going to best honor your body shape. Sacrum and hips are down. So you might even want to take your hands and kind of press down so that you're not overarching your back. Low back, press your low back to the floor. And immediately when you do that, start to feel a toning here in the center core. Low back down, heels are pressing. Boat variation, bend the elbows, reach the arms above your head. Get really long and stretched out. And then exhale, bend the elbows, lift your head and your shoulders, and then reach for your feet. Inhale, bend the elbows, lower the upper body, extend the arms above you, all on the inhale. And then exhale, bend the elbows and curl yourself up as you reach. And a few more times. Listen and follow your own breath. Let it be your guide. The exhales, we contract and lift. The inhales, we expand and open. One more time through the sequence. And then when you're all the way down with your upper body, release the arms back down next to you, right down next to your hips. Give yourself a breath, relax your feet. Then flex your feet, breathe in, extend both feet up in the air, hugging onto that prop if you have it. And then exhale, point the toes, bend the knees and bring them in close towards your chest. Breathe in, extend the legs up, flexed feet. Exhale, point the toes, bend the knees and bring them in. You could use your hands on your legs for a little more guidance and a little more support. One more time. And then set your feet down on the floor. Optional to continue to hold on to that prop, or we could use it underneath us. We're coming into bridge pose. Press evenly through your feet. So take a moment, connect with your feet. Press down and then tilt your tailbone towards the sky. Smoothly start lifting your hips. If you'd like to bring the prop underneath your sacrum, just to give you added support, please do. Chin centers with the energetic heart, and let's come back in to our connection to the inner flame, that spark of light that lives in us. On the exhale, slowly come on out. Bring your feet back up onto the chair. Give yourself a few breaths. Relax your legs. Just feel and allow. Allow your energy to flow. One or two more breaths. Back release figure 4. Bring your left ankle up on the right thigh. If you'd like, you could even narrow that where you slide your foot down closer to the floor, almost like you're sitting cross-legged in a chair. You could have it wider open or more centered towards the midline. And either staying here or bringing the right foot off of the chair and embracing the legs. So whether your foot is on the chair or you have your foot in close, let's take our attention to the hips, especially around the piriformis and the glutes along the left side. Every time you exhale, feel for a softening of the muscles there, a relaxing in your sacrum and your pelvis. On the exhale, release, and let's unwind and come to the other side. Transition with breath. Awareness of what this side may need. Create a shape that we can be in and focus in on the breath or on your intention. And then release, bringing both feet up onto the chair. And then a little waving through the spine. Tailbone down and then tailbone up. Feel for a little pelvic rocking here. And then a settling of the sacrum and the hips. If you'd like to bring your feet down on the floor or extend under the chair or rest up on the chair, feel for a space that you can completely relax now into. After you choose that shape, do a little body scan. Notice inside if there are places that need a little extra support. Feel for a complete letting go. And then find your breath. Feel for a smooth cycling of breath. Drop your inner focus down into the root chakra, the base of the pelvis, down through your legs to your feet. And with your breath and that smooth cycling, just feel the flow of energy there. And then bring your focus around the sacrum and the lower back, the front of the belly, and the lower organs. Smooth flowing breath. Prana, life energy, rides on our breath. Just trust in this energy flow to balance itself. And bringing your focus up and around the solar plexus, the diaphragm, the lower ribs to the mid back. Sliding it up into the heart center, through the breasts and the shoulders, down the arms to the hands, all the way back, circulating through the heart. Up into the throat, the back of the neck, the top of the shoulders, and the base of the skull. Up and through to the third eye, the center of the brow, including the eyes, ears, the nose, the mouth. And a wave of breath coming all the way up through the crown, and like that fountain gesture we created in our practice, that wellspring of energy flowing through the crown, all the way back down through our body to the soles of our feet. The inhale is the energy moving downward. The exhale is the energy rising from the feet all the way back up, returning through the crown. Feel for expansion and contraction. If you'd like to stay longer in this energy flow and meditation, please continue. If you're ready to sit with me, start to move the hands and the feet. If you need a counter pose, maybe bringing the knees in, a little bit of circulating around the hips. And when you're ready, rolling to your side to make your way to sitting, either in the chair, on the floor, wherever you can be comfortable, and lengthen tall through that energetic spine. The Sushumna Nadi from the crown to the pelvis, to the floor, to the earth. And as we sit, bringing in the chant of peace. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. If you're new to this, you may want to listen to the chant one time and then join in, and maybe you just want to do this silently inside, your choice. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Bring the hands up to the energetic heart. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Up to the crown of the head. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And then intuitively bringing your hands anywhere you would like to. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Being energy. Inward gaze towards that spark of light in your heart. Gazing upon the inner light. If you'd like to stay longer in meditation or journaling in your practice, please continue on as long as you have the time for. If you're closing and sealing this practice with me, taking a few moments of gratitude. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide today. Blessings to you.